is in order. Good morning, Cat Flatley. Good morning, Cat. Good morning, Preeti. Welcome back, guys. Thank you for joining me again today. I mean, it's almost the weekend, guys. As soon as that sun hits that horizon, it's a weekend. What'll happen between you and Stephen? Awesome. Thank you for your question. You are the first to join the queue today. Before I get going, I'm going to just roll myself a rollie. And yeah, if you guys see this over here, this little pedestal with all these ingredients on, those are little ingredients I've been collecting today. It's for a spell. I've got a client who's requested a love spell. So that's going to be a talisman that I'm creating, a fetish crafting. Not what I will be providing on Monday as part of the manifestation stream. That is, what I'll do there is a basic executable servitor, and this is a little bit more advanced than that. This is talisman crafting. Making sure all of my tabs are loaded up and ready to go. So Preeti says, what current feelings of Suresh are Garwell for me? Cool, your question adds to the queue. You will be the second reading of the day. I also need to just tag Leah in this stream. Kat says, I look forward to these mornings. That's so precious. Thank you. Yeah, glad that I can start your morning off well. Yeah, I'm reserving tarot for Fridays and Sundays because, I mean, if I must be honest, these are the days when I get most engagement, and these are also the days that I actually make something, you know, where people actually are prepared to send donations and give something in return for the value that I offer. So I decided I would take the other 2 days, the quiet days, and start adding experimental streams there. As you probably saw, on Wednesday I did some healing, and I've decided Mondays I'll be giving away free spells, manifestation spells. There we go. Okay, now I somehow need to mute this tab because people are DMing me and it's going ping ping and making loads of noise. Welcome Chandrayi, good to see you again. Thank you for joining me today. So I've got two requests in the queue so far. I haven't done any readings just yet. Kat says, I'm gonna figure out how PayPal works one of these days. It's pretty simple. You basically just sign up for an account and then you link your bank or your card, and you can then either pay with your PayPal balance, or you can deposit funds into the PayPal, or you can just pay for things directly from your bank card using PayPal. It's quite a nifty thing. I find it to be quite useful. And the rates are cheaper than any other international rates. You know, if you're trying to use your bank or you're trying to get an international account, all of that is really expensive. Every transfer is super expensive. But with PayPal, the fees are pretty minimal. And that's probably the biggest benefit to using PayPal. And then Chandrayi says, thoughts, feelings, and decisions of Saurav Maitra about me after meeting me day before yesterday. Can I expect a positive decision? Is he the one? Awesome. You are third in the queue, I believe. Thank you. Alright, I was going to take a moment to roll a cigarette, but I feel like I've wasted enough time. So, just going to go ahead and do that reading for you guys. Starting with Kat. Kat gave the first request, what will happen between myself and Stephen? What are his true feelings towards me? Kat says, when I tried, I added $5 to my account just to test it out, but I couldn't use it. Then I kept getting charged from Apple, so I haven't tried again. That's so weird. Did you pay for anything? That was Apple related? There is a setting that you can turn on PayPal that means you have to confirm all payments and all receipts. So if someone sends you money, you have to confirm whether or not you're going to accept it. If somebody claims money from you or if payment is made, you have to confirm whether or not it will go through. You can decline or you can approve. So that might be useful for you. But it's interesting that you couldn't use it. I haven't had any issues using money that's in my PayPal. Although, if I must be honest, I've never put money into my PayPal. I've only ever transferred money or received payments into my PayPal. I have used my bank card to pay other people's PayPal, though it's linked to my PayPal. So I have bought services and I've paid for price lists and readings and stuff straight from my South African bank account through PayPal. Yeah. But I've never actually deposited money into my PayPal from my own account. I've only ever withdrawn. What are Stephen's true intentions towards Kat, and where will this lead them? Okay, your first card is the Fool. So this is where you guys come from. This is where he has come from. Something he's been going through this month, the beginning of 2022. It's basically a leap of faith, a quantum leap, and it's the right way around. So he's been afraid of whatever it is. He's got this idea that he needs to change. If he wants to manifest the dreams that he has, he's going to have to completely let go of the old and take a leap of faith into a new karmic cycle. And yeah, he has no idea what that looks like or what that's going to do to his life, but he knows that that's the way that he moves into the abundance he seeks. And he knows nothing about this path that he's leaping into. So there's a lot of uncertainty, and that's represented by this tiger, which is biting into the Fool's leg. That's fear, the fear of the unknown. But the Fool doesn't pay any attention to that tiger of fear. He just looks straight ahead because he knows that's where he needs to go, and it doesn't matter how much fear he's feeling, he just needs to leap forward. And so he did. This card is saying that basically he took his quantum leap. He acknowledged that he has creative potential within himself, and he can apply that towards any obstacle that comes his way, and he can learn and adapt to whatever he needs to learn and adapt to as he goes on this new journey. It's a pretty encouraging card. It's quite a frightful, revolutionary experience for the one who's going through it. The attitude of the Fool is really playful and mischievous, and that's kind of like a way to cover up. It's like a mask that's worn, a character that's played in order to cover up the fact that he actually doesn't know jack shit about what he's doing, and that he feels everybody around him knows a lot more, because he's just stepped into this new period. He's just stepped on this new road and this new path, basically choosing a new path that is towards the outcome he wants. And there are other people that he's now meeting and interacting because he's chosen this path, and they've been on that path a little bit longer than him. So the Fool attitude, the playful, mischievous silliness, is like a mask to cover up the insecurity, to kind of hide the fact that he doesn't know what he's doing and that he feels insecure because it looks to him like everyone around him seems to know what they're doing, but he doesn't. But that's something he's done. It's something he's been through. Moving into the present, we have a 9 of Wands. Okay. So in the present, he is doing some self-reflection on his intentions when he got into this relationship that you guys are in. He's looking at what were his intentions and what did he actually want out of the relationship. The card is reversed, so he's also looking, he's identifying where his intentions were self-seeking, where they were negative, and he's identifying where his intentions were not self-seeking, where they were positive. He also, what desires were selfish, what desires were not selfish. The card reverse is saying that he is not taking responsibility though. He's like looking for ways to justify and turn it around, spin the story around in his mind and say, oh, those intentions weren't actually self-seeking. Looking at it from every possible perspective to find some way to look at it that it didn't look selfish, even if it was at its core selfish. So that's not a healthy thing to be doing. It's very important to recognize where your intentions, when this kind of nine of Wands energy is around, it's very important to acknowledge and accept when you had negative intentions, because if you sow negative intentions, you reap a negative harvest. So if you don't acknowledge it, then the negative returns on those investments are going to be painful, first of all, and you're not going to learn from the mistake, so you're going to end up repeating that mistake when you go into the new cycle. 9 comes right before 10, so the self-reflection is the last period before you see your intentions and desires realized. And yeah, as soon as you've finished with that self-reflection and you've taken responsibility, then you step into the new cycle. If you haven't taken responsibility for your ill intentions and your selfish desires, then you will repeat those mistakes and sow those same seeds when the new cycle comes. It's very important to acknowledge and take responsibility. And this card is saying that he's not. He's spinning the story around in his mind, looking for ways to justify himself or find some way to perceive the situation when you guys got into a relationship, and yeah, telling himself a story to make it seem like his intentions were not selfish, if they were, where they were. Like, this card is not saying that he had selfish intentions, that his intentions were selfish and that his desires were selfish. It's saying that there were selfish intentions and there were selfish desires, as well as selfless intentions and selfless desires. So it's very important that you recognize and make a distinction between the two, or otherwise, yeah, going forward there's going to be some nastiness that you guys will reap in your relationship. Future interval is the 5 of discs. So despite the outcome here, whether or not he turns that 9 of Wands around, his outcome is going to look like applying his resources to the best of his ability, reaping the sour harvest, reaping the sour returns, bad returns on investments. One way or another, if he learns from his mistake or not, what he's going to do in the light of reaping that harvest, in the light of that misfortune, he's going to start applying all of his resources, all of his knowledge, all of his experience to the best of his ability towards securing himself and you within the relationship financially. This discs card is all about the physical reality, that's finances and health, and then 5 is about applying yourself to your maximum potential, becoming the example that you didn't have, basically. So that's what's going to open up for him, regardless of whether he turns that 9 of Cups around, regardless of whether he takes responsibility for the misfortune that comes in. It's still gonna inspire him to really push himself to the limit. And yeah, that's a healthy card. So you want to know what his intentions were towards you. He had some intentions to the desire that he had that was selfless was to hold you, to secure you, to give you what you hadn't found in previous relationships. The thing that was selfish was that he was motivated by sexual gratification. And then what is coming to you guys, what's ahead for you, that is him and you working to the best of your ability, applying yourself to your maximum potential to secure yourself and the relationship financially. And yeah. Someone once said he wanted to be more financially stable and secure to build or rebuild our future. Well, that's what's opening up. So he's going to reap some of the negative rewards of the negative intentions he sowed, and he's going to reap some of the positive rewards for the positive intentions he sowed. And it's really important that he learns from his successes and his mistakes. But regardless of whether he does take responsibility, the misfortune and the fortune is going to inspire him once again to secure you guys financially and build on your future, on your physical financial future. And that concludes your reading. So thank you very much for joining me. Please like and share this video. And I'm going to just greet all of our newcomers: Master Trooper India, Deep Tea, Angel. Welcome, guys. Welcome, Angel. I don't think we've seen you before, so a warm welcome to House Kerr, where I give away free tarot readings, where I give away free spells, where I give away free healing sessions, and all kinds of other crazy, fantastic, magical things. So Fridays and Sundays is tarot and divination. Mondays is spellcasting. Wednesdays is energy healing. You want to know the current feelings of Vineeth? Amazing. Your question automatically adds to the queue, so you are in the queue for a free reading today. Deep Tea, welcome back. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me. Your question adds you. You asked, may I know if Vishak is my future spouse? Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for the like and the share, cats. I hope I will see you again on Sunday and again on Monday. Sunday for another tarot reading, and Monday for some spellcasting and manifestation. Basic executable servitors. Okay, now I'm checking my queue to see who is up next. Chandrai says, I look like a druid, nice and connected to nature. Thank you for your recognition. I try and stay away from labels, but I feel like I like that one. It resonates well. Angel wants to know when she is in the queue, he or she. I will try and let you know. So up next is Preeti. Preeti wants to know the current feelings of Suresh Agarwal. So Preeti, let me know that if you're still here, because you're up next for a reading. And then after that is Chandrai. So we've got Preeti, Chandrai, and then who's next? And then Angel. So you're third in the queue, Angel. And then Deep Tea, so fourth. And I see we just got a Rara who's joined the chat. Yes, there is a queue, Rara. We've got four requests in the queue, but you can just go ahead and ask your question to join that queue. Yeah, we've still got plenty of time on the clock, so you'll probably, most likely, almost certainly still get your reading today. But if you want to skip that queue, that's $5 donation, $5 tip. You can send it to my PayPal link. Yeah, unfortunately that's the only payment method at the moment. Welcome back, Emma. Nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. Thank you for your support. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I did see some posts of yours, but I don't think I really read them. I saw your girls. They're so beautiful. Yeah, thank you for joining. Rara has to ask a question to join the queue, Angel. Yeah, if I don't see a question, I don't give a reading. General, saying something like general reading or just general is good enough to get into the queue, but there's got to be some kind of indication that you're joining the queue in order to get in. But yeah, we got Preeti up next, who has not confirmed, so I feel like Preeti's gone. Move on. Next in the queue was Chandrai. Jennifer Kennedy, welcome back, Jen. Your question added to the queue, so you are now number 4 and Rara is number 5. Cool, thank you guys. So Chandrai says, thoughts, feelings and decisions of Saurav Maitra about me after meeting me day before yesterday. Want to know if I can expect a positive decision. Want to know if he is the one. Cool. Well, I'm craving my tobacco hit, so I'm going to roll a cigarette quickly. So once I've rolled this cigarette, then I will lay your spread, Chandra. What can I call you for short? Because your name is pretty big. It's a long name. But basically, I'll draw your spread before I light it up. Good morning, good evening, Jaya. Welcome back. Pretty, where have you been? Where did you go to? Because I asked you to confirm and you didn't confirm, so now you're going to have to be after Chandrai. Okay, so Chandra can be your short name. So Chandra is next because you did not confirm. I'll put you back in after Chandra. Welcome, Kayla. It's good to have you here. I don't think we've seen you before, so welcome. And to get into the queue, you just ask a question, which you have done. Amazing, you are in the queue. That probably leaves you at number 6, possibly number 7 in the queue. Queue's getting full real quick. Sh, as in, oh, cha, as in Charlie. Chandrai. Cool. Chandra. My cousin is named Charlie, spelled just like that, like Charlie, but pronounced Charlie. Her full name is actually Charlotte. Shame she's not doing so well. Our uncle passed away on her birthday. Suicide by OD. Deliberate OD. Yeah, and the fact that it was on her birthday really made her quite distraught. That was last week Friday, not so long ago. Okay. OD, short for overdose, drug overdose. Thank you, Emma. Thank you for your support and all of the healing energy you're sending. Okay, so Chandrai, yeah, Jaya Power, my grandparents' son, is the same O that I'm talking about now, same guy. But Chandrai, you've got a whole bunch of questions here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. So I'm going to try and put the most important ones together. Intentions of sort of towards Chandrai. how does Sorav Maitra feel after meeting Chandray, and what does he intend? Your past interval, interesting, is number 11 of the trumps. It is called lust. In other decks it's called strength. What it's actually representing is the strength and the motivation that comes out of desire. When you want something, then you're motivated to get it. That's the kind of energy that this card talks about. It's like becoming aware of what you need to do and who you need to be in order to have what you desire. Realizing that it's within your grasp. The desire being a doorway between two pillars, and also the destination on the other side of the doorway. This is the past interval, so it's where he has been. That's talking about what he felt as a result of meeting you. So there was a lot of passionate feelings. There was a lot of desire that was sparked through the meeting. And yeah, I became aware that you had similar feelings, and that a relationship with you and between the two of you was within reach. If the card was reversed, I'd say that he felt disappointed or disheartened, like he felt as if it was out of reach, or that the person he'd have to become in order to be worthy of you was too big. But the card is the right way around, so it's saying that he feels quite motivated to pursue you as a result of your last as a result of your meeting the day before yesterday. A lot of passionate feelings, a lot of desire, and yeah, motivation to act on that desire. Present interval, 2 of Swords. This card talks about the potential for intuitive abundance, for abundance within purpose. So when you have a desire and you act to attain that desire, you're existing in purpose. And yeah, the number 2 talks about opportunity and potential for abundance regarding purpose. So whatever it is that he wants to accomplish, whatever it is that his heart desires, he is seeing in his present, he is seeing the potential for that and how we can reach out and grab a hold of that potential. But that potential is like a seed. You know, a relationship has to grow. It doesn't just happen overnight. You don't meet someone and then suddenly you can trust them with your whole life and be completely intimate and vulnerable with them. That's not how it works. You know, you have to nurture a relationship and build trust and get to know a person. So he's seeing the potential for all of those things, and he's reaching out to grab a hold of it. He's seeing all the ways that he can act in order to arrive in that abundance, in the fullness of a relationship between the two of you. Future interval is number 14 of the trumps. It's called Art. In other decks it would be called Temperance, but basically this card talks about co-creation, applying your creative energy in order to realize the future that you desire. It's getting to that place where you're applying, like 13 is rebirth, 13 is death of the old and birth of the new, so 14 is what comes thereafter. So you've just been reborn, now you start to actually apply yourself within the new reality. You start to be creative and find solutions and move forward. It talks specifically about working with others in that new cycle after your rebirth. So the death card, number 13, usually looks like an old relationship. It looks like the end of a relationship. It looks like moving from one location to another. It looks like the end of a career. But in this case, it's what's about to open up is him stepping out of the rebirth into co-creation, the new process, the new relationship, and that is with you. What is about to open up is you guys working together. Interacting together, communicating, growing together. That's what he's talking about. his old relationship, that death and rebirth has already taken place. It's not even featuring in here. It's been a while since then. What's opening up now is stepping out of that rebirth period into new relationship, into new co-creation, into new interactions. Basically, yeah, he will get rid of old emotional relationship baggage and start a new dating cycle. But that's something you're both going to be doing while in a relationship. This card is you guys growing together. So at the same time as growing together, you're letting go of the old and cutting away the old. That's something you're going to be doing together. You're still carrying baggage. You still have traumas from past relationships. Even as much as you've worked through, you still have it there. There are still remnants of it. And the same thing for him. Even if he has completely left the old cycle behind, there is still baggage that he's going to be carrying. And there are still triggers that you guys are going to remind each other of toxic aspects of past partners. That's just normal. But yeah, that concludes your reading. So thank you very much, Chandre. Yeah, thank you for joining me. Please like this video. I know you are already subscribed, so much appreciation for that. And let's see, we're moving on. Let me greet newcomers. I see we've got a Priya Rathore. Welcome, Priya. Chandre, I am an intuitive or psychic, whatever you call that. It's something that I've been developing for a couple of years, but I'm still a baby psychic. Still a baby psychic. And who else has joined us today? Who else has joined us? Miss Charita. Charita, welcome. Your question for a financial reading adds you to the queue. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for your question. So next would be Preeti. If Preeti is still here, please let me know. Last chance, Preeti. Seriously. Jaya, please don't tell other chatters what to do. That's not cool. Your question is here. Your questions, you've got multiple questions actually, and they're in the chat, and I will read them, and I see them. So please just have patience, don't stress, and let live, please. There you are, Preeti. Thank you for confirming. Welcome, I am Amira. Welcome, Amira. Thank you for joining us. I see this is your first time here. So you ask your question to automatically be added to the queue. And yes, Sharita's right, Jay. You only need to post your question once, and I get to your question in the order that they appear. So you can rest assured that I will find your questions. Spamming will get you banned though, like spamming the same question, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, that'll get you banned. And welcome, Ashika. Thank you for joining. Your question adds you to the queue. Preeti asked, what current feelings of Suresh Agarwal for me? So that is the reading we're doing next. How does Suresh currently feel towards Preeti? Okay, so Suresh, your past, Preeti, your past card here is number 5 of the trumps reversed. It's called the Hierophant. So this card, it's talking about how he has witnessed you in the past. This is past intervals, things that have already happened. So basically this card is saying that he watched you following unhealthy examples. He looked at you and the kind of teachings that you would listen to, and the kind of characters on TV that you liked, that you aspired to be like, the kind of role models you had in your life. And in his mind he saw that those were unhealthy characters, and he didn't like the influence that they had on you or your development or your growth. It seemed to him that they were having more of a negative impact on you than a positive impact. So that's what this card is saying. That's how he perceived you. It's something that's coming to a close though. In the present, we've got a Queen of Wands for you. So the Queen of Wands, this is saying that in the present, he's looking at you and he sees that you have a desire, and you've set intentions to accomplish that desire, and the desire itself, the passion of that desire motivates you towards that outcome, and that's a positive thing. He's seeing that and it's exciting for him. He's proud to see you in this state of being. So we saw with the Hierophant, that's where he saw you, that's how he perceived you in the past. That's like from the end of 2021 to this last month that has passed. In the present, he's proud of the motivation that he sees in you, that you want something for yourself and your life, you want a certain level of financial security, you want your reality to look a certain way, and so you're allowing that desire to motivate you and give you the drive that you need in order to get to that realization, and that inspires him and it makes him feel proud of you. Your future interval is the 5 of Swords. So this is what's about to open up. This is so you're going to take some steps from now into the next week, into the end of this month and the beginning of the new month. You're going to be doing some stuff, you're going to be applying yourself, and this is how he's going to be seeing you. He's going to see you. 5 of Swords talks about applying your resources, your knowledge and your experience to its maximum potential, doing the best that you can with what you know and with what you have towards your purpose and your goals, and that's what he's going to see. So go ahead and apply yourself. Yeah, he's going to see it and appreciate it, and yeah, we saw he's already proud of you for your motivation. To watch you applying yourself, that's really going to inspire him some more. It's just going to improve how he sees you and how he feels about you. And that concludes your reading. So thank you very much for joining me today. And yeah, I hope you got some value out of it. Please like and share the video feed. Would be much appreciated. Welcome, Rajni. How are you doing? It's been a while. So Dr. Palak Gupta, what she thinks of you. Cool, your question added to the queue. Sharita, I am not quite sure how many are in the queue ahead of you. A lot of people have just recently joined and made requests, and yeah, I'll have to count again. You're welcome, Preeti, and thank you for your support and your continual viewage. You join and you view regularly, and you like and you share. Much appreciated. It looks like the next request in my queue is from Angel. Wants to know the current feelings of Vineet. God bless you as well, Preeti. I see that Angel is still here. Angel just sent some stars. I've got your question in the queue. Have you asked your question, Rajni? I'm sure that you are in the queue. Something to do with Dr. Palak. Your question adds you to the queue automatically. But Angel is up next. I see we've got 12 viewers. Thank you guys, all of you, for your support. Just to let you know, when the timer here reaches 0, my free readings have ended. And yeah, you can secure yourself a spot for a reading even after that, even if that queue is closed, with a $3 donation. And if you want to skip the queue altogether, that is a $5 donation. Amira says, please do me next. I'm new here and I posted above. Amira, the only way that I'm going to do you next is if you send a $5 tip. Otherwise, you have to wait in line just like everyone else. Okay. How does Vineet currently feel towards Angel, the one referred to and one known as Angel? Angel Flower. So, your past interval, Angel, is number 8 of the trumps reversed. It is called Adjustment. So this card talks about finding balance. In its reverse state, it's talking about being forced to make the adjustments that are necessary in order to find balance. That's balance between everything. That's balance between how much you work on your projects. That's balance between how much you take care of yourself versus how much you take care of others. It's balance between how much you earn and how much you spend. It's balance between all things. And so this card in the position of your past is saying that he has watched you go through this adjustment period. He saw that life gave you no choice except to make some drastic changes in order to create balance. So that kind of feels like career shift, something happening regarding your career that made a big change to how much you earn, and so therefore having to make some big changes to your lifestyle in order to balance your income and expenses. Yeah, so this card is talking about him witnessing you go through a period of adjustment in order to re-establish balance and harmony in your life. Present interval is the 2 of Swords reversed. So this card talks about potential for purpose. And when you identify what your heart desires and then you take action to accomplish that desire, you are existing in purpose. So that is what purpose is. That's how we define purpose. It's not something that's given to you divinely. It's something that you choose. Your heart's desire is put there from the moment that you're born, but the means by which you accomplish that desire is your purpose, and you get to choose it. So this card is saying that in the present, he is seeing that there is so much potential for you to realize abundance within the purpose that you've set for yourself. And you reach out to accomplish that. You reach out to grab a hold of that potential, but then you don't commit to the potential, and that is detrimental. It leaves him feeling disappointed. So you got all of this potential in your present, and you reach for that potential, but then you don't commit to it. So potential is like a seed. A seed has potential to be a plant. It has potential to be a fruit tree, and that fruit tree will give a harvest, a plentiful harvest. So if you plant that fruit tree, you know it's going to grow into a tree. But if you don't commit to that seed and you don't water it daily and nourish it, give it good soil and protect it from weather, it will wither up and die. And that's kind of what's going on. You've got this potential, it's like a seed, and you plant it, you grab a hold of that potential, but then you don't commit to it. You don't stay consistent with what's required of you in order to see that tree grow into its fullness. And that's been detrimental to your image. That has made him feel disappointed and frustrated. Future interval is the 5 of Swords. So this is what's about to open up for you. It's what you're about to step into come this new month. We're right at the edge of this month of January. We're about to step into February. And in February, you're going to be, or he's going to perceive you to be applying yourself to your maximum potential regarding that purpose. That purpose that we saw over here where you weren't committing, we're going to see that card turn around, and we're going to see you start committing and start really applying all of your knowledge, all of your resources, and all of your experience in order to make sure that that seed, that potential grows into its fullness. And that is a healthy thing. That is a great thing. So this card is something that this is talking about what he's going to be seeing. It's not actually talking about what you're going to be doing. Like, I know in the past, in past relationships, I have let it seem like I'm doing something that I'm not actually doing. And yeah, so I feel like it's important for me to mention that he's going to see this. You're going to be projecting that image for him to see whether or not it's true. Make sure that it's true. Make sure that you really are applying yourself to your potential and that you really are committing and doing the best that you can. And that is the conclusion of your reading. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, I hope you got some value out of this. I hope it gives you some inspiration. And yeah, I hope I will see you again on Sunday for some more divination. And I hope I will see you again on Monday, because Monday I'm doing something that I haven't done before. I'm premiering free manifestation spells. Just basic executable servitors. But if you've got anything that you desire, that you want to see manifested into your life, join me on Monday and we will see what we can do about making that a reality. Please like this video and share it and subscribe. Much appreciated. You're also very welcome. Welcome, Gita. This is the first time I see you in the chat. Welcome to House of Magic. Yeah, just your question is already here, so your question automatically adds to the queue, but there is quite a long queue. So if you want to make sure that you still get a reading, but even after the queue closes, this is the countdown clock. When it reaches 0, free readings are done. A $3 donation will secure you a spot. It'll secure you, I think actually it's $2 minimum. I'm not sure what it says here. I've forgotten. But anyway, the security tip will secure your spot. And the priority tip of $5 will skip that queue and put you up next. Welcome, Shreyasi Das. Your question adds you to the queue. Thank you for your question. As I was saying, you can skip the queue with a $5 tip. You can make sure you still get a reading even if the queue closes with a $2 tip. And welcome, Mary. Same thing, letting you know the queue is quite, it's growing pretty quickly. And welcome, Prajia. And welcome, Janie. Please don't spam. You will get an automatic ban if you spam. After Angel was Deepti, and Deepti says Deepti is still here. Deepti says I'm still here. And the question was, may I know, is Vishak my future spouse? So Deepti, do you want a yes or no answer to that question? A clear yes or no? Or would you like to hear from the tarot? I mean, the tarot might give you a yes or no, but it's not certain that it will give you a yes or no. Okay, so Janie has ignored my request saying don't spam. So Janie, you are now blocked. Where is that block button at? There we go. Block. Confirm. Okay, so Deepti says yes. Deepti would like a yes or no answer from the pendulum. Cool. On behalf of the one referred to as Deepti, is Vishak his or her future spouse? It's giving me a forward and back swing, which is a yes. It is giving like a slight tilt to the left when it comes back, and that is saying to me that it's possible that you can sabotage that. That yes, Vishak is a good spouse, good option as a spouse. Be mindful that you don't self-sabotage that relationship, because there are still actions you can take, there are still decisions that you can make that can change that. Sharita says, wow, people are really rude today. It's Friday. There are always spammers and scammers who join. As soon as I get shared, then suddenly all the spammers jump on. But that's okay. That's okay. If they don't stop spamming, I just block them. It's no big deal. Namaste, Deepti. Peace be with you. So I got a lot of people who just joined the chat. Let me see if I can greet. Oh, never mind. It's just Om Namah and Dimpy C. So welcome back, Om Namah. Nice to see you again. Your question adds you to the queue. Be mindful that the queue is getting quite full. Okay, we've also got a Sin Namongt. I'm just going to call you Sin as before. Welcome back, Sin. It's good to see you again. And you're asking for a tarot reading. You're most welcome to get a tarot reading. Ask a question to join the queue. Be mindful that the queue is getting quite full. So if you want to skip that queue, that's a $5 tip. If you want to just make sure that you still get a reading, even if the queue closes, that's a $2 tip. Sharita says, I handle it really well though. Thank you so much. Sometimes I give them some advice before I block them about how you can actually do constructive things to expand your reach and get clients and customers. But I feel like these people who do this kind of spamming thing are not interested in getting actual clients because they're not actually providing a legit service. So what can be done about that? Dimpy C says maintenance case is going on. How much amount I get under 20,000 DOB? DOB is there in the chat. Thank you for your question. You get added, your question adds you to the queue. And Dimpy C says it's not free reading, so I think you're talking about the spammers, but I'm not sure if you're talking about the spammers or if you're talking about me. I am giving away free readings, but only for a limited amount of time. When that queue reaches 0, that timer, then my free readings end, and after that everything is donation based, gratuity based. Okay, so after Deepti we have and Jennifer Kennedy. Dimpy, allow me to confirm. So if you ask a question, you get added to the queue. Now there are a lot of people in the queue, and I only give away free readings for 2 hours. So if you want to skip that queue, if you want to make sure you get a reading, there are options here. You can either secure your spot for $2, or you can skip the queue for $5, or you can wait and hope that you get a reading before the stream ends. Jaya Power, we haven't quite gotten to your question yet. Up next we have Jennifer Kennedy on Facebook. So Jennifer, please let me know if you are still here. Jennifer wants to know what's coming in the next week. But I do feel as if Jennifer has left the chat. But we will give her a moment. Oh, there we go. Jenny says she is here. Amazing. Thank you for your confirmation. What lies ahead for Jennifer next week? So this past interval will let you know what has happened in the last couple of weeks that will influence your next week. Present interval is things that are going on right now, today, on Friday, that will influence next week. And future interval, that will tell you a little bit about next week itself. Rajni, I have your question. You only need to ask your question once. Please refrain from spamming and copying and pasting your question multiple times. Thank you for your patience. We might get to you, we might not get to you. There are a lot of requests in the queue. Secure yourself with a $2 tip. Skip the queue with a $5 tip. So, Jenny, your past interval here is the Queen of Discs. So this is saying that in the last couple of weeks you found a little oasis in the middle of the desert. So discs is about the physical reality, that's about finances and wealth and health. And the Queen energy is like the Strength card energy. It's like, I want something, so I will make it happen, and that desire itself, the desire for the outcome, is like motivation to get there. The strength of the desire actually drives you towards the outcome. So last week you arrived in a little oasis. The world around you was kind of desertified. It was a desert. Like everything around you was falling apart. People were going through terrible times financially, but you found a little secure haven, a little oasis in that desert where you had enough to keep yourself secure, where there wasn't a risk of being stranded out in the desert. Basically, you came into this place of an oasis, and it was something that you really fought for. It's not something that just fell into your lap. It's something that you fought for. It's something you desired and fought for. The card also says to me that you were very much willing to share that abundance that you had in your little oasis. If you found someone who was struggling, you were willing to give them a little bit of your space, or invite them for dinner, lend them some money if they needed. Whatever it was that you were doing, you were supporting others out of the abundance that was in your little oasis that you had found. Present interval is the Three of Cups reversed. So 3 is about enlightenment. I mean, enlightenment is a word I don't really like to use, but it's becoming aware, basically. That's what enlightenment means. It's like suddenly being aware. And Cups is about emotions. So that's about your emotional being. So what this card is saying is that in the present, you have things that you want, that you're trying to create for yourself, and you are becoming aware of how much needs to shift in your emotional being before you can actually realize yourself into that desire, before you can see it manifest into your present. And the magnitude of the changes that need to take place and what's actually required of you before you can get to your destination, the magnitude of it seems a little bit overwhelming. It's almost like you feel hopeless in the present that you could ever see your dreams realized. And yeah, that's a cuck place to be in. I'm really sorry. But this card has some advice for you. It's saying that you can nourish your plans. You have plans on how you can create the shifts that are necessary and how you can put one foot in front of the other to get to where you're going, in order to find the emotional peace that you need, and in order to find the outcome of your desires that you hope for. There is a way that you can get there. You know that it's there. It just seems too big. But this process of becoming aware of what needs to shift and what is actually required is how you nourish your plans. And you can set your priorities in order once you know what's actually required of you. So that card is saying that if you go ahead and you look at it that way, you say, okay, this realization of what's actually necessary, it seems like a lot more than what I expected, but just accept it as it is, the magnitude of it. Realize that you can prioritize according to what's most important to you, and you can put one foot in front of the other by working on your priorities in their order of importance. And yeah, that is the advice that card has for you. Future interval, which is next week. Prince of Swords reversed. Okay, so this card talks about facing challenges. Next week is going to look like you facing challenges that you have neglected. So in the past, while you were working to accomplish this little safe haven in this last month that we've been through, you were working on bringing yourself into that secure oasis where you had enough abundance to keep yourself secure. While you were doing that, there were certain things that came up regarding your end goal. Like we've got short-term goals, mid-term goals, and long-term goals. So you were working with short-term and mid-term goals during that period. And there were some things about your long-term goal that came up, things that you would have to face, challenges you'd have to overcome, and you were like, not right now, I'm focused on this. When I have accomplished that, I can look at that again. So now next week is going to be you taking those challenges that you put on the shelf, taking them off that shelf and facing them. The card is reversed, so it's saying to me that this is going to be painful. There's going to be some suffering. You're going to really have to engage your endurance and your potential in order to make the breakthrough you need to get to. And these challenges and these breakthroughs are all to do with goals. As we see with the swords energy, it's about purpose, and purpose is things that you've set for yourself, and goals are things that you've set for yourself. So in the coming week, you're going to be facing challenges, and that is going to be really difficult and quite painful to endure, but you have grown enough and you have learned enough that you are ready to face these things that are coming in the next week. So just stick it out. When you see these challenges manifest into your present throughout the week, don't let them overwhelm you. Remember that you have grown enough and you are ready to face these things, and you have the endurance and the potential that's necessary in order to knuckle down and find the breakthrough that you're looking for. And the goals that you're working towards will be realized. So just push through. And that concludes your reading. So thank you very much for joining me today. And yeah, please like and share and follow. And if you haven't done those things already, please go ahead and do them. Much appreciated. And then, oh, welcome Leah, welcome to the stream, welcome to my house Kerr. Yeah, it's good to have you here. Thank you for the support, and thank you for the review you gave me. I'm going to take a little screenshot of it, and I'm going to post it on my timeline, and I'm going to put it in my review section on Discord. Thank you so much. You will be the first review that I've actually got. So guys, if you want to help me out a little bit more, like I say to you, follow, share, subscribe, whatever, donate. But if you want to do something more than that, you can also write a review of your experience through my readings and how that has affected your life. That will also be really helpful for me. So thank you so much. You can write a review and tag me in it, and I will approve it to go onto my timeline. Yeah, or you can send it to me in DM and I'll screenshot it and post it myself. But yeah, that'll also be really helpful. So thank you so much. And then after Jennifer, we have Rara. So Rara, let me know if you're here. In the meantime, I'm going to greet our new arrivals. We've got Nada Nada. Welcome, Nada. And welcome, Roshni. Like Sharita says, Roshni, just ask your question. You don't have to get my permission, just ask a question and that automatically adds you to the queue. I see while I was saying that, your question came up on the chat. So thank you for your question. You are added to the queue. Just be mindful that the queue is quite full. So if you want to skip that queue, it's a $5 tip. If you just want to make sure that you get a reading even after the queue closes, that's a $2 tip. Just letting you know. Rara says he is still here. So amazing. Thank you for your confirmation, Rara. Your request was for a general love reading, and that's what we will give you. Welcome, Ralph. Welcome, Maria Pia. And Nada Nada, your question adds you to the queue. You said, let me know, does Hadi remember Nida from Istanbul? So your question adds you to the queue. You are automatically in the queue as a result of your question. But the queue is very long at this point, and I don't feel like we have enough time to get to our most recent arrivals. So you can skip that queue with $5 tip, as I was saying earlier, or you can secure your spot even after the queue closes with a $2 tip. And welcome, Pitusa asking, Hola Espanol. I'm afraid not. I don't speak Spanish. Would love to be able to speak Spanish. I would love to be able to speak every language, but anyway. Yeah. If you can speak English, please make your request by just adding your question, and that'll add you to the queue. And Rolf Bando says hi from the Philippines. So Rolf, you can add yourself to the queue by asking your question. Thank you. General love reading for Rara. So I'm curious, Rara, is your name inspired by the Egyptian sun god? Or is it inspired by like Ra Ra Ra, as in something kids do when they don't want to listen anymore? They cover their ears and la 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 la. What general guidance and advice does the universe have for Rara regarding his or her love life? Before I turn those over, I want to have a look at my queue timer and just see where we are. Okay, we got like 52 minutes on the clock still. Amazing. Oh, I see. Your name is Ara, and so the nickname is Rara. That's cool. You can totally claim the reality of it being like your nickname is based off of the sun god. You could totally just claim that from now on. Anyway, your past interval here is number 10 of the trumps, and it is fortune. It's reversed. So when this card shows up, it talks about receiving the returns of your investments of time, investments of energy. Yeah, basically arriving in full circle. So you plant seeds, you make investments, and then going from that point where you planted the seeds and made the intentions all the way through to the point where it returns back to you. And when the card is reversed, it talks about misfortune. So just excuse me, I've got another scammer in the chat. Mary Tarot, welcome, and please don't spam. If you spam, it'll result in an automatic ban. Anyway, Rara, Misfortune. We were at misfortune. This card talks about you having experienced misfortune this month, and towards the end of 2021 you made investments, but it seems that you made more losses than returns. Perhaps there were some things you could have done better in order to ensure a positive reward, positive returns. But anyway, the returns were not all that you hoped for. They were not all that was promised. And so what this card wants to suggest to you is that in the future, when you make investments, just learn from your past mistakes. Have a look at who you invested in, if it was time or if it was money or whatever it was that you invested, whatever intentions you set. Just learn from the past experiences, past mistakes where you saw you didn't receive the returns that you expected. Try and identify what it was that you did or who it was that you invested in that resulted in that misfortune, so you can avoid making the same mistake. The card also wants to suggest to you that you sow new seeds and make new investments as soon as you receive returns. It's like if I plant if I plant crops and then the harvest is shitty, it's a bad harvest. And then I feel, I'm now so overwhelmed by this bad harvest, so disappointed, I'm never going to plant seeds again. What am I going to do next year? Next year I'm going to arrive at harvest season and have nothing to reap. So don't let misfortune and bad harvest discourage you from new investments. Thank you for respecting my request, Mary, for respecting my request to not spam. Much appreciated. If you would like some advice on how to expand your reach and generate new clients, please reach out to me and I'll help you out with that. We can have a little bit of a chat about it. I'm very much prepared to help support you through my platforms. Present card, Rara, is the Princess of Cups reversed. So this card has twofold meaning. First of all, it talks about co-creation and working with others in order to evolve and make progress regarding your emotional self. Cups is all about emotions. Princess is all about co-creation, creativity, applying your creative potential. So in the present, this is a general love reading. So in the present, you've got relationships, even if they're not romantic relationships, not yet. But there are people that you interact with and you could be co-creating with them. The card reversed implies that you have a little bit of difficulty working with others, difficulty allowing their creative process to support your process, and vice versa, difficulty being flexible with your process in order to include others. The second fold meaning of this is that you're hiding your true nature behind like a shell, a hard calloused shell, like a tortoise has this hard shell, but on the inside is actually soft. So that it's talking about you. It's saying that you are putting on the shell around yourself to protect yourself, and that's detrimental. So you might be going out to meet people and interact with people in the hopes of forming romantic relationships, but people are feeling like you're unapproachable, like you have this hard outer shell and that they can't get through. Even though on the inside you're actually really soft and vulnerable and gentle, you've got this hard exterior that's hard to get through, and that's been detrimental to you. That's what's been making it difficult for you to get yourself into the romantic relationship that you're hoping to accomplish, that you're hoping to find yourself in. So this card just wants to advise you to be more open about your emotional experience, to express yourself more vulnerably with the people that are in your life. Be honest about your feelings, whether they're positive feelings or negative feelings. It'll open up the opportunity for more interaction and more co-creation and the deepening of intimacy within the relationships that you currently have. Future interval is number 9 of the trumps. It is called the Hermit. So this is what's about to open up for you, and this card talks about self-reflection. It's a period of self-reflection that's going to open up for you, and that kind of self-reflection is you observing your past relationships and the past, where you come from, basically just looking back over your life and seeing where you acted in unhealthy ways and where you acted in healthy ways. And the point of this is in order to learn. It's in order to learn, like, if you got triggered by something someone said or something someone did, or you got hurt by it, to look back and see why. Why did I respond that way? Why did I feel so hurt by that action? Why did I feel so hurt by those words? Why was I triggered when they did that? Even though it seems harmless what they were doing, I got such a strong emotional reaction to it. Why is that? And then observing that, following it down to the root and seeing, okay, it's because in a past relationship, someone who did that kind of thing, right after they did that, they would say something hurtful or do something hurtful. So it's based in the trauma. My strong emotional reaction is based in past experiences. So this self-reflective period, when you observe these things, when you observe unhealthy behavior, the most important thing is like when you get triggered and you feel that emotional uprising, how did you respond to it? Did you choose to integrate? Did you choose to do something constructive? Or did you choose to do something destructive? Something toxic? And if you were able to choose to do something constructive and positive, that is amazing. That is success, and it is important to acknowledge that success and say, yes, I did well in that situation. And if you didn't, and if you did something destructive and something unhealthy, retaliated to the emotion, if they made you feel frustrated and you said something spiteful, acknowledging that as well and saying, okay, yeah, in that moment I reacted badly and I did something damaging, something hurtful. It's very important to take responsibility for both your successes and your growth, as well as your self-sabotage and your failures. Because if you can't take responsibility for your failures, you will repeat the mistake. If you can't take responsibility for your successes, you won't be able to reapply that method for success. So this reflective process is in order for you to learn from your old cycles so that you don't repeat mistakes as you go into a new relationship, and so that you can reapply your healthy aspects from past relationships in new relationships. Basically, 9 is the last stage. The reflective period is the last stage before you step into a new cycle and see your desires manifest. Selah, that is the conclusion of your reading. Thank you for joining me. Please like this video, and you are already one of my subscribers, so thank you very much for that. Please recommend me to your friends if if you know anyone who you feel like could benefit from a reading here or any of the other services I provide. Please feel free to recommend me to them. That would really help me. So, checking up to see who is next. Next in my queue is a Kayla Carson. So Kayla Carson on Facebook, if you're still here, please let me know you're up for a reading. And then let me go and greet all of our new arrivals. So we've got a Dina Bella, who says, hi, I'm Dina. Do I get a chance to go to Australia for my studies and settle? Please read for me. So Dina, your question automatically adds you to the queue, but my queue is pretty much full at this point. So yeah, if you would like to make sure you get a reading even if the queue closes, then that is a $2 tip minimum. And if you would like to skip the queue and just be up next, that's a $5 tip. So it's up to you. Alternatively, you can catch me again same time on Sunday. I'll be doing the same thing, giving away another 2 hours of free readings. So who else has joined us? We've got a Melinda Fissur. Welcome, Melinda, and thank you for joining me. I believe this is the first time I see your name in the chat. You have asked for a general reading, so your request adds you to the queue automatically. But just like I said to Dina, the queue is pretty much full at this point. I'm running out of time on that clock. So if you want to secure yourself a spot, that's a $2 donation minimum. Your $2 donation will make sure that you get a reading even if the free readings queue closes. And a $5 donation will skip the queue, and you can find my links in the description. Shelly Stump, welcome. Please, can I have a love reading, says Shelly Stump. Again, this is the first time I see you in the chat. Welcome to my house, welcome to my stream. And yeah, queue is pretty full, so if you want to make sure you're in the queue for a reading, make sure you don't get left out. That's $2 minimum. Skipping the queue, $5. And welcome Daniela and Roshni and Melinda, I did already greet. Leah says, I'm doing great. I will message you soon. Ave Enoch. Ave Lelit. Yeah, welcome Roshni. So again, the queue is pretty full, so at this point I would highly recommend at least sending a security tip. The security tip is $2, and that'll make sure that you stay in the queue even after the free readings queue closes. It'll make sure you don't get missed. Alternatively, you guys can catch me again same time on Sunday. And then Ariana Gal, welcome. May you please be added. Questions, asking your question adds you to the queue. Daniela says, can I please have a reading? So Daniela, same thing. If you want to be in the queue, you're going to request, you're going to ask for a general reading, or you're going to ask a question. That adds you to the queue. Iwa, oh dear, Iwa's spamming. Iwa, please don't spam my chat. Spamming will get you automatically banned. Yeah. There are better ways to improve your reach. Priya Rathor is asking when is my turn. So I had just asked, who did I ask? Kayla, to confirm if she was here, but Kayla did not confirm. So let's see who is after Kayla. After Kayla was Jano. So Jano, if you are still here, you would be up next in the queue. After Jano was Jaya. And after Jaya was Priya. So Jano, if you're still here, let me know. Asking, do you see Elise and I in a committed relationship? I'm going to express my love for her. We've still got, what's that, 39 minutes on the clock, so that's around about enough time for 4 readings, but my queue is pretty full. Jano is still here, awesome. So Jano is up next for a reading. Welcome Peggy, welcome back, nice to see you again. Oh, Kayla, you're back. Okay, so I'll put you back into the queue after I do this reading for Jano, because you were before Jano. And I skipped you because I didn't see confirmation. But I see you are still here, so if you prepare to stick around for another 10 minutes, you can get back in. Peggy, my queue is really full. You're welcome to ask a question to get into the queue, but yeah, I don't think I'll have enough time. There are so many requests in line. If you want to make sure you get a reading even after the queue closes, that's a $2 tip. And if you want to skip that queue, that's a $5 tip. You can send it to my PayPal link in the description. Is there a committed relationship on the table for Jano and Elise? No problem, Kayla. We will get to you right after we do Jano's reading. Okay, so past interval here, Jano, is the Ace of Swords. And this card is reversed. It talks about communicating your purpose. And the card is reversed, meaning that you didn't communicate your purpose, that you had many opportunities to do so and you neglected to do so. Yeah, so the definition of purpose is when you identify what your heart wants and then you take action in order to see it realized. The first action therein is communication. So you identified what your heart wanted, and the first step on that road was to communicate it and express it, and you did not. You can still, I mean, it's never too late, but this card is basically a scolding saying, dude, you've had so many opportunities, why didn't you? Just go ahead and do it, for crying out loud. Get over the fear. Just put yourself out there. What's the worst that can happen? That's basically what this card is saying to you. Present interval is number 11 of the trumps. It's called Lust. And this card is, lust is a bad word for it, because in most decks it's called strength, and strength is also not quite the right word for it. It's more like the motivation that comes from desire. When you have a desire, then you feel motivated to get there. That's kind of the strength that this talks about. Strength of desire. And so what this is saying is that in the present, you are feeling really motivated by your desire for a relationship. You're feeling motivated and driven to reach for that desire and see it realized in your present. It's a doorway in front of you, and all you're going to do is open that doorway to get to the other side. The destination is the desire. The doorway is also the desire, and you are motivated by it. Just open that door and step through, bro. Just open that door and step through. Realize yourself into what you desire. So this card, you asked me, do I see a relationship for you? What I'm seeing here is, first of all, a lack of communication regarding what you desire. And now I see that you are driven and motivated by the desire, and you're about to take action regarding it. You're about to realize yourself into that desire and take action towards it. That's what I'm seeing. It's not showing me an outcome just yet, but here, let's have a look at your outcome. Okay, your outcome is the number 7 of the trumps. It is the Chariot. So this talks about decision making. This talks about putting priorities in order and choosing the means via which you will get to your destination. So you're going to express your feelings towards her, and that's going to open up the potential for a committed relationship. It's not going to start out as a committed relationship just because you expressed yourself. It's going to take time for that to develop. But what will open up for you as a result of expressing yourself is many roads to that future. Basically, it's a potential future now. There will be many roads for you to get there, many ways that you can build on the relationship. And this card just wants to encourage you to pick one of those as soon as you can. Don't retreat into a hermit state where you're not choosing any direction or not taking any steps on any road to get to that destination. Basically, after you've expressed yourself, immediately start identifying various ways that you can build on the relationship, and then start doing it ASAP. Taking her on dates, giving her little nice romantic letters, whatever it might be. You will have to identify the best means, but then step out on that road and walk towards it. And that concludes your reading. So thank you for joining me, and I hope this gives you some inspiration and the drive that's necessary to actually express yourself, as you've been planning to do for so many months. Please go ahead and do it. If you don't reach for the potential, it's going to slip on by past you. She's not going to wait around forever. Someone else is going to jump in and get there before you if you don't jump in. Amazing. So Kayla, you are next, and let me just check what your question was. So your question was, why did SK tell me he wanted to go back and spend the rest of forever together if it was all just a lie? Does he mean it, or was he really lying to me? Okay. Jano says, next time I see her, I'll tell her. Please do. Now is the time. The only moment you have is the present moment. What are the true intentions of the one referred to as SK? So Roshni, if you're a bit confused about what's going on, Kayla and Jano and Priya and yeah, these guys have been waiting for their readings for quite some time now, probably a whole hour. Past interval here, Kayla, is the Ace of Wands. So this is talking about communicating passions, communicating desires, communicating intentions. So this is what happened when you guys started this little bit of romance, this little dance of romance. What he expressed to you was not lies. The things he said to you, the intentions he expressed, the desires he expressed, the passionate expression of his feelings was true. That's what this card is saying. It's come to a close though. In the present we have number 19 of the trumps. Okay. It's called the Sun. So in the present moment, he is he's trying to be the sun in his own life. So in our solar system, the sun is the center and our planet orbits it, all the planets orbit it, and our planet receives its potential to bring forth life and abundance because of the sun's energy and the sun's radiance. So he's trying to be like that in his own life. He's trying to radiate enough energy to give his environment and the people in it, you included, the potential to bring forth abundance and new life. And that's pretty much all that the card is saying. It's saying that that is what he's doing, and that's what he's trying to do in the present moment. And there's no inauthenticity. He's just trying to exist as his authentic self, and as a byproduct give his environment and the people in it security and potential for abundance. If the card was reversed, I'd say it's inauthenticity. He's trying to give more of his cup than he can afford to, running himself dry, leaving everybody at a disadvantage. But the card is the right way around, so it's not indicating any kind of inauthenticity. It's not indicating any miscommunication. It's not communicating any lies. It's saying that he's just trying to exist authentically in his present moment and give you security as a byproduct, and give his environment abundance as a byproduct. Future interval is the Five of Wands. So this is what's about to open up for him, what he's about to step into, and that is him applying himself to his maximum potential, applying all of his resources, all of his knowledge, all of his skills to their maximum potential in order to realize his desires. He has desires that he's working for. Part of that is you and the relationship, to spend the rest of forever together. So what's opening up for him is him applying himself to the maximum potential in order to see that dream realized. So to you it might look like he is running away, pushing you away, but the truth is that he's trying to secure himself so that he can bring those things and see them realized. Why is he pushing you away and saying he doesn't love you? I don't know. The spread is not talking anything about that. It's saying that his intentions here are pure, that his intentions here are to secure you and to manifest the things that he has expressed. That there has been no miscommunication in the past. In the present, he is being authentic to himself. Maybe he feels like he needs to put some distance between you and him before he can create the abundance and the security that he wants to create for you. He's going about it a bit wrong. You know, to push people away and tell them you don't love them, it's not healthy, it's wrong. You hurt people like that, but hey, we all make mistakes. But basically this spread is telling me that what he said to you in the beginning was true. What he's doing right now is trying to exist authentically in order to give you and his environment your potential for security and abundance. And what's about to open up for him, what he's about to step into, is applying himself and his resources and his knowledge to the best of his ability in order to see his desires realized for himself and for those he loves. And you are welcome. Kayla, I will encourage you to like and share this video feed and to follow me on Facebook and across my other platforms. And if you are by the means, I'd also encourage you to donate and send a tip, but that is entirely optional. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope that I will be seeing you again on Sunday and on Monday. Sunday I'll be doing this again, what I'm doing now, same time. Monday I will be giving away spells. I'll be casting spells free of charge. Welcome to the stream, Naveed. Welcome back. I'm sure I've seen you here before, so welcome back. And your question adds you to the queue. Just be mindful that the queue is coming to a close, and yeah, timer is running out, and there are a lot of readings for me to get through. So if you want to secure a spot, that's a $2 donation. If you want to skip that queue, it's a $5 donation. And welcome, Opansa Ghoul. Same thing. Your question adds you to the queue. I see you said, need to know about my husband. He wants to leave me after 20 years. Very sorry to hear that. My queue is quite full and my time is running out. So if you want to make sure you get a reading before the stream ends, that is a $2 tip minimum. $5 tip will skip the queue. Yeah. So after Kayla was Jaya. Jaya, if you are still here, please let me know. Jaya Pawar on YouTube. After Jaya is Priya. Ooh. Thank you, Leah. I look forward to seeing you on Monday then, in that case. Awesome, so Jaya is still here. After Jaya was Priya, and after Priya was Sharita. Just want to check on my queue. Okay, so we've still got about, what's that, 23 minutes? That's enough for 2 readings. So Jaya says, my husband Virat, Capricorn, suddenly betrayed me in April 2017. He never gave any closure or any explanation. We knew each other from 2006. I've grown a lot in my career. Okay, so Jaya now expands on that, saying, I realized my love after he left me. What are his feelings, intentions, and thoughts for me? Is he loyal, committed, and sincere? Okay, so Jaya, before I even pull out any cards for you here, if he did not take responsibility for the betrayal, then he is not loyal. If he took responsibility and apologized and acknowledged his mistake and acknowledged he was in the wrong, then sure, give him another chance. But if he didn't, if he refuses to take responsibility, or if he finds ways to justify himself, that is red flags. You run the other way, babe. Welcome to the chat, Rena J. What are Jaya's husband's intentions towards her? Sounds like you're about to justify him, Jaya. Sounds like you're about to justify him there. There was family drama and many things. Sounds like you're about to make excuses for him. No, don't do that, babe. There is never justification for betrayal. Past interval here is the 3 of Wands. So this is saying that as a result of the experience, the betrayal, and the hurt that was caused, he became self-aware. He became aware of what he truly wanted and truly intended regarding you and your marriage. It was like a rude awakening for him. The card is not reversed, so this is saying to me that he sees hope for healthy resolution, and there's nothing unhealthy about his intentions there. He wants to, the desires that he has are to both of your benefit, and he became aware of those desires and those intentions after the betrayal. It was like a rude awakening for him, realizing how much he had to lose by hurting you and pushing you away. Past interval. Present interval is the Prince of Discs. So this card is saying that in the present, he is facing challenges and looking for breakthrough by applying his potential. He's realized that he's learned enough and grown enough that he can face the challenges that he was neglecting. And these challenges are to do with health, to do with sex, and to do with finances. So setting sexual boundaries, number one. Setting routines for exercise and health, making changes to diet and lifestyle that are in the interest of his health, things that have been difficult for him. And not sure what it's implying regarding career and finances, but it's basically just talking about making positive breakthroughs regarding finances. There's certain aspects of his career and finances that he hasn't been able to tackle in the past. In the present, he is now applying his new knowledge and his new experiences in order to make those long-awaited breakthroughs regarding career and finance. Future interval is the Five of Discs reversed. So this card is telling me that as he moves forward, there is a risk of him reaching a little bit further than what his knowledge and experience can take him. We all have a limited amount of finance at our disposal when we're making investments into new business ventures or whatever it is, and we all have limits on how much we know in every present moment. Every step that we take towards our outcome, we learn more things and we overcome our previous limitations. But if we try and take steps that are bigger than what our knowledge can take us, or we try and take steps that are bigger than what our finances and technology can carry us, it'll only result in resistance. We will take one step forward and we will take two steps back. That's what will happen with the Five of Discs reversed energy. So what this card wants to suggest is that whatever he's working towards, applying himself to his maximum potential, yes, but taking smaller steps. Not trying to leap from here to here. Trying to get to a middle point first before leaping there. That's the advice that that card has. And yes. So the betrayal, him hurting you and creating all of the drama and discord, was a rude awakening for him. He came to the conclusion of what he actually had to lose and how much the relationship you have means to him. It made him aware of what he actually intends to see come out of this relationship, and those intentions were healthy. What he actually desired to see grow in that relationship, and it was healthy desires. In the present, he's facing some challenges on how to set sexual boundaries for himself within your relationship and outside of it, how to avoid getting himself into tempting situations, working to make breakthroughs regarding his health, making changes to his lifestyle in order to make breakthroughs in his health, even if those changes and shifts are difficult for him, and learning to apply his new knowledge and new experiences and new resources in order to find, once again, breakthroughs, but regarding his finances and resources, career, finances and career. And then what's opening up is him applying himself to his maximum potential. The card wants to just give a warning that he might be trying to reach further than what he can actually grab a hold of. And if that is the case, the card wants to give some advice and say take smaller steps. As long as you're putting one foot in front of the other, it doesn't matter how small your step is, you are getting closer to your outcome. If you try and leap too far, you'll trip and fall and get hurt and end up worse off than you were. And that concludes your reading. So I would encourage you to like and subscribe and follow and share and tip and all of those marvelous things. Thank you very much. That was a reading for Jaya, and now we are moving on to Priya. So Priya, let me know if you are still here. Priya Rathore on YouTube. Jaya says thank you so much. You are most welcome, Jaya. Waiting for Priya to confirm. After Priya is Sharita. Sharita says she is still here. Well, let's give Priya a moment just to see if Priya is still here before we move on. Priya says yes, I am here, and Sharita, yes, you are after Priya. Uspansa Gul, please don't spam. I only have enough space for 1 or 2 more readings. 2 more maximum. So if you would like, that's free readings. If you would like to get a readings today still, secure yourself a spot with a $2 tip. Skip the queue with a $5 tip. Yeah. So I'm going to be giving a reading for Priya and a reading for Sharita, and then my free readings are done. Everything after that is gratuity based, donation based. So Upansa, the only way that I'm going to give you a reading today is if you send a tip. Otherwise, my free readings are all claimed. My queue is about to close. Alternatively, you can schedule a private reading with me. You can DM me and I'll send you my price list. Or you can catch me again for free readings on Sunday, same time. Please join me earlier in the stream so that you don't miss out. Priya says, I'm going through the worst phase of my life. Is mine and Rohit's relationship done? I'm frustrated now. Please guide me on what I should do. You are literally going to be the last reading of the day, the last free reading of the day, Sharita. You would love a private reading with me? Well then, you can find all of my social links in the description here on YouTube. And yeah, so DM me on Discord, DM me on Twitter, DM me on LinkedIn, DM me on Facebook, any of the platforms, and yeah, I'll let you know what I do offer, what my private offerings are. Okay. What advice does the universe have for Priya regarding this phase of her life and her relationship to Rohit? Okay, so your past interval card here is the Princess of Discs, and this just talks to me about struggling to work with others. This talks to me about you struggling to be flexible with him and him struggling to be flexible with you. This also talks to me about dissatisfaction in the sexual reality of your relationship. So yeah, that's the bedroom, dissatisfaction from one partner or both. One of you is struggling to enjoy or find any kind of gratification in your sexual encounters. More than that, you have a certain way of doing things and you are reluctant to compromise in order to accommodate him and his processes, and likewise he has a way of doing things and he feels reluctant to compromise or be flexible in order to accommodate you and the way you do things. So that's a pretty difficult situation to be in. However, it is something that's in the past, it's something that's coming to a close. So this is talking about recently, this last month that you've been through. It's what brings you into the present. So in the present, I have a Queen of Discs reversed. So this card, the Queen energy, is about, hey, I want something, I'm going to make it happen for me. But this card is reversed, so it's talking about that desire, that outcome that the Queen wants is too big for her. She feels like it's too big, like it's hopeless to even try to get there. In this card, the Queen is seated in a little oasis in the middle of the desert. So there's a twofold meaning to this card. First of all, you feel overwhelmed by your desires for health and security within this relationship and individually. You want to be secure, you want to be held, you want to feel secure and safe, you want to have enough money and finances to make sure you have all of your needs met, but you feel like that's more than you could ever hope for, like that's out of your reach. No matter what you do, you can't get there. So first of all, the advice is you can get there. Anything you can visualize, anything you desire, you can manifest for yourself. There are so many different ways that you could do it. The most practical way is to literally apply yourself day to day and be productive towards that end. Second of all, this card is saying to me that there is some greed from one partner or both. You both want this financial security and the safety so badly that there's almost a greed for it. And that greed, it leads you guys to look past the security that you currently have. So currently you do have certain amount of safety. You currently do have enough resources to make sure that you stay fed, that you have a roof over your head, that you have clothes to wear when you go out. And that is security. So you have greed for more. One or both of you is greedy for more, so you're overlooking how much you actually have. And that greed is dangerous to your current security. It destroys the oasis that you're in. The card is just warning that greed will destroy the oasis, and that's what you're witnessing. Everything collapsing around you, that is a result of wanting more and not appreciating what's currently there. And that's what your husband has been going through, or your partner, and it's what you've been going through. Future interval, what's opening up is the Four of Discs. So this card talks about setting routine and getting your priorities in order. You want that security. It's again discs, so it's that security, that safety. Now you can set up a routine for yourself. You can identify what's most important to you, what is absolutely essential that you manifest into your present, that you bring into your present and your life in order to make sure you're secure, and then work productively towards those ends. Apply your authority, apply your own inner potential. What do you have to offer that can bring you closer to that security? What can you be working on every day that'll bring you closer to that security and that strong structure and that safety that you want and that financial abundance that you want? And then you just work on it. You don't worry about what's going on in the relationship. Focus on creating the security. So if he's saying things that are destabilizing the container, don't react to it. Just focus on yourself, focus on being patient, focus on being kind and gentle and self-controlled, focus on being productive and working towards your goal of physical and financial security. This will turn the tables around completely. Maybe it won't save your relationship, but it will definitely make that relationship healthier. And that concludes your reading. So thank you very much for joining, and moving on before the queue closes. Naveed Kawar, if you continue to spam my chat, I will block you permanently. So please don't. Vivek, I fucking love that name, man. Fucking love it. Hail Almsivi. So Vivek, if you would like a reading, I'm afraid the only way you're going to get a reading today is with a minimum of a $2 tip, because I'm about to give away the last free reading of the day. All readings here on out, I mean, I'm happy to stick around as long as you guys want me here, as long as you guys are prepared to tip. From the 2-hour mark, so I give away free readings for 2 hours, and then after that it becomes gratuity based, donation based. Alternatively, you can catch me again on Sunday for the same thing, doing the same thing, same time, another 2 hours of free readings. Or you can schedule a private reading. You can reach out to me in DM and I can send you my price list and my offerings list. But Sharita is up next for a financial reading, and that is the last free reading that I'm giving away. Anybody else in the queue who still wants a reading today, that will be a $2 tip minimum. What does Sharita need to be aware of regarding her finances? And what opportunities are in front of her that she can seize regarding her finances? Amazing, Leah. Thank you so much for your recognition. Very much appreciated. So Sharita, your past interval here is number 17 of the trumps. It is reversed. This card, it talks about a little bit of overwhelm regarding decisions. It talks about a little bit of overwhelm regarding priorities and responsibilities. Basically, this card is saying that this overwhelm that you experience, it's a past interval card, so it's where you've come from. It's probably what brought you to ask me this question about your financial reading. But basically, you felt like there was too much responsibility for you to hold, and it was overwhelming. And those emotions that it brought up, that fear of failure and the anxiety, it was so intense that you almost dropped your responsibilities and your priorities got all warped, and you started doing things that were not important while things that were important were falling away. And not making any decision. There were important decisions that needed to be made, but the overwhelm and the anxiety led you to not make any decision. But that is past interval. It's things that have already happened. It's things that are coming to a close. You've learned from that. The card does have some advice. It's saying to you in the future, or even in the present, if you've still got options in front of you and decisions that need to be made, identify what is important to you. What is most important to you? And what do you want? And what's most important to that desire that you want to see realized? And then make your decision that is aligned. Make a decision that is aligned with that outcome. And when it comes to priorities, when you can see what's most important to you and your outcome, then you can work on things in an order of what's most important to that outcome. That is how you list your priorities. So you have an outcome, you make your decision based on how you're going to get to that outcome, what's the road of least resistance, and then you set your tasks and your goals in the order of what's most important to that outcome. And that's the advice that that card has. Furthermore, it wants to say that when you get all of these like well-ups of emotions, you can direct those emotions. You don't have to react to it. You can take action despite the emotion. You can find inspiration from the emotion, and you can do something that's creative with that emotion, express it in a creative way. If you do that, if you express your negative and difficult emotions in something creative, it brings you closer to your outcome. If you react to the negative emotion, it takes you away from your outcome. Present interval is the Two of Cups. So this card is talking about how in the present, the most important thing is emotional abundance. And that emotional abundance is something you're going to have to give yourself. Self-love. This card is talking about the importance of self-love right now in the present. That's your highest priority, is to nourish yourself, love yourself, give yourself all the nutrients that you need. Make sure you're getting all those nutrients into your body and all the vitamins and all of the supplements that you need. Self-love, self-care. This is very important. This card is talking about the potential for abundance, for emotional abundance and emotional security. And and that can only come through self-maintenance and self-love. It's saying to me that you do this, you do make an effort to appreciate yourself and take care of yourself, but you often neglect it. You often go into periods of like depressive bouts where you start neglecting your own welfare. So this card just wants to remind you of how important your self-care is right now, and that should be your highest priority. Making sure that you are full and your cup is full, that should be your highest priority. Finances and working on things productively and creative projects should become second right now. Once you are secure, once you made sure you've eaten and you've got the bread in you, then look at what you need to do to secure yourself financially. Welcome, Melinda Smile. Please do not spam my chat. Spam will result in an immediate and effective ban, so please don't do it. There are better ways to increase your reach. Jumping into my thread and my video feed and spamming people is not the way to do it. That's not how you get things done. Tell me, when you do this, when you jump onto other people's live streams and you spam, telling people to reply for private readings now, does it ever work? Because I feel like it doesn't. So please refrain from doing it here. It's not appreciated. Chariot, your future interval is the 7 of Swords. It's reversed. So this card is a warning and it's advice on what's about to open up for you. First of all, it's saying, it's those decisions that are coming. There are going to be decisions regarding your purpose. And so the card first wants to say to you, identify what is your heart's desire. What do you want from your life? What kind of career do you want to see? How much do you want to be earning? What does the outcome look like? What kind of home are you living in? What kind of car are you driving? How much are you earning? Etc., etc. What does your world look like? And then you can make your decisions and take your actions based on that, on what you want to see result from it. The card being reversed is saying that there will come those feelings of overwhelm, those fears of failure that we saw here in the past interval. Those things will come up again. The anxiety, the fear of failure, and the overwhelm will come up again. But take that advice that we got there with the 17. Channel those feelings into creative expression. Number 1, that's the first bit of advice it's giving you. Don't react, channel. Secondly, prioritize. You don't have to figure it all out at once. You can just start by visualizing the outcome and then choosing what you're going to do, what creative process you're going to start doing in order to get there. It doesn't matter if you change that or if you evolve on it or adapt it. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have everything figured out as soon as you make the decision. You can make the decision and then figure things out from there. So yeah, don't let yourself be overwhelmed. Prioritize efficiently according to your result. Identify where you're going and identify what is the most authentic road to get there. So don't listen to what this person is chirping in your ear and how you get to what you want. Don't listen to that person chirping in your ear about how to get to what you want. What is authentic to you? What is the authentic process for you? Something that is written in the book of Thomas, Words of Jesus of Nazareth, that I really love. The book of Thomas is an apocryphal book that doesn't actually exist in the Bible. But anyway, in there Jesus says to his disciples, if there's anything you hate doing, don't do it. So it's as simple as that. If someone is chirping in your ear and saying, this is what you have to do in order to get to your destination, you're like, gross, I don't want to be doing that. Don't do it. Do what's authentic to you and what you enjoy doing. That's how you reach your outcome. It's very counterintuitive to try and do something that you don't enjoy in order to get to the outcome that you want. And that concludes your reading. So amazing. I feel really inspired by what's here. I feel like there's a lot of potential for you going forward. Remember that what's of a highest priority to you right now is taking care of yourself. Self-love and self-care. Sena, pausing to contemplate the magnitude of what has been revealed. Okay guys, so that was the last free reading that I was giving for the day. Anyone else who wants a reading? My readings from here on out are gratuity based. That is donation based. $2 donation minimum, but you can send as much as you like. Yeah. You are most welcome, Sharita. Thank you for joining me. I hope that I will see you on Monday, because on Monday I'm going to be giving away free spells. I'm going to be doing manifestation spells, and you can just express whatever it is you desire and want to see manifest in your life, and I'll do the thing. I'll do the wizard thing. So I'm going to stick around for a few minutes, guys, just to give you all a chance to send your tips if you want a reading. But yeah, my free readings queue is closed. Leah says, thank you. It was a great reading. Ave Enoch. Ave Lelit. Ave Lelit. Thank you so much for joining me, Leah. It was great to have you here, and thank you for all of your recognition. And for the review you sent to me, thank you so much. For all of my viewers watching, if you guys are wondering what this is about here on the altar here, okay, that's the altar. On my desk, there's this little pedestal with a bunch of weird things on it. Those are ingredients that I'm collecting for a talisman that I'm going to be creating later. I have a private client who has requested a talisman spell. It's a love spell that I'll be doing. So I was just collecting ingredients for that. I've got a passion fruit and a rose and some pollen from a wild olive tree and a wild hen's feather, some blackberries, some lavender, some copper, and some iron. And those are all symbolic ingredients that I'll be using to create and enchant a talisman in order to manifest the outcome that my client has requested. So on Monday I'm going to be doing basic executable servitor, so that doesn't look like all of this fetish crafting. The basic executable servitors are like, it's like when you run a program on your computer, it executes a series of code that brings about a certain action in the universe, and that can take time. To see the results of those executable programs can take time. So these fetish crafting spells work a lot quicker, and they are a little bit more expensive and a little bit more time consuming. So yeah, these I do privately. This is not, the fetish crafting is not something I will be doing in my live stream. The live streaming is more of like to give you guys a taste of what's possible with magic and what I can offer. It's to get some interest going, get that ball rolling. But anyway, thank you to everyone who viewed, everyone who sat here and viewed my stream, and for all of the likes and the shares and the follows and subscriptions. Very much appreciated, guys. I'll be doing the same thing again, the live tarot reading, 3-card spreads on Sunday, same time. 2 hours of free readings, thereafter gratuity based. So welcome, Miret. You can most definitely get a reading, but as you can see, my free readings queue is closed. So from here, all the readings that I do are gratuity based, that's donation based on a $2 minimum donation. So if you're willing to tip me $2 minimum, we can give you a reading. I'm gonna be heading out of the stream as soon as I finish this cigarette. Yeah. So it's up to you. If you're willing to give me a tip, I'm willing to give you a reading. Otherwise, you can find me on Sunday, same time, same place, doing the same thing, 2 hours of free readings. Yeah. Mondays, spell casting, Wednesdays, energy healing. Just a heads up as well, Aziz Azura will be going live. I don't have no idea what she's planning, but she's going to be going live right here. Not on this channel, on her channels, but I will be sharing a link on my Facebook page and Twitter page and LinkedIn pages. So yeah, give her some support, check her out. I know she does also do tarot readings. She's been learning and practicing, so you can join her. Enjoying this joint. It's a tobacco cigarettes, Black Bob's tobacco. I very rarely smoke weed, but I do. But yeah, enjoying it, thank you. Songbird Zaya, welcome. Asking, will Stanley agree to meet me? We had a fallout. He is my boyfriend. Okay, so Songbird, I have finished all of my free readings for the day. This queue is closed. The free readings queue is closed, as you can see. So if you would like to get a reading, that's a $2 tip minimum. If you're prepared to give me a $2 tip, I'll be prepared to give you a reading today. Alternatively, you can catch me again on Friday. I mean, it is Friday. You can catch me on Sunday, doing the same thing, same time, 2 hours of free readings. After the 2 hours expire, all of my readings become donation-based, tip-based, gratuity-based. But yeah, my partner, my lovely partner, Aziza Zura, she is also learning to do tarot. I've been doing it for several years, but she's just starting out and she's learning. So I will post a link to her channels, and when she goes live, you can ask her your question. Yeah, but she is not on Facebook. She does not do her streams on Facebook. She does her streams on Twitch. Twitch TV. Anyway, guys, I haven't received any paid requests, so I'm gonna go ahead and close the stream. Much appreciation to all of you. Wishing you all wealth and prosperity beyond measure. Amen. See you on Sunday.